Hair is an organic material that needs to be put to use. Today, hair is an atavism. There are many such vestigial structures in the human body. The appendix, tail, and third eyelid are all examples. Another is hair. Long ago, when people were just beginning to stand upright, hair was necessary for survival. It preserved heat, cooled the body, and absorbed the person's smell. But nowadays, the human species has no need for hair. Hair is inconvenient, impractical, and more often than not, useless. Today, hair is a social signifier. A person's hairstyle can tell us a lot about them. Hair is a sign of identity, pride, style, and wealth. Hair is a cultural symbol, an element of design, and a work of art. Why is it then that when hair falls off a person's head, it immediately becomes garbage? Every day, hair salons all over the world cut off and throw out tons and tons of this durable, decay-resistant biomaterial, one that heartily sucks up minerals from our bodies and money from our pockets that we spend looking after it. What can we do to give that hair a second life? Africa, Egypt, India. Several ancient civilizations gave us the idea of replacing and supplementing natural hair with artificial materials. Clay, metals, wool, and fur were widely used as luxury items and status symbols in earlier cultures. However, everything changed in the 20th century. Humankind entered an era of functionalism, a time in which hair design began centering on minimalism and form. Hair became shorter, volume decreased, and the dominant principles in color were restraint and natural shades. Experimenting with cut and color, we cast aside the use of artificial materials. A new era began, the era of cosmetics. The hair industry turned into a global market of things that can be smeared onto hair. Hundreds of manufacturer brands turned hair salons worldwide into display counters for the sale of their creams. Brands bought the most talented stylists, making them their loyal soldiers and salespeople. And thus, creativity was lost. After all, we don't need any additional tools or materials to put shampoo in our hair. But the time for creative ideas is once again upon us. It's DIY editorial, the era of selfies and vainglory, the endless stream of well-made but identical photos that fleet past our eyes online has forced us to look for a way to catch our audience's attention and find new image solutions. Creativity is a symbol of success for people today. Paired with technology, it can remove any barriers to what we can achieve. Technology allows us to find and combine any elements of any era or culture. Photoshop, montage, 3D modeling, and augmented reality give us the chance to create visual concepts that don't exist in the real world, making hairstylists genuine mixed media artists, creating a new virtual fashion. Hair no longer has to be just on a person's head. It can become part of the space around them. Moreover, hair can be completely replaced or supplemented with any material, including digital projection, holograms, or virtual emptiness. We are witnessing the arrival of a new profession: digital hairdresser. These are the people creating the images and videos that are filling the digital space. Look around. Each of us has posted a photo or video of our work onto social media, and every one of us has used graphics editing software. We have all played a part in creating and disseminating the new fashion. Digital brothers and sisters, welcome to a glorious new era.
Hello everyone, HairFcker here. I'm Maria Klaas, and this is Kirill HairFcker. We're out here in the last warm days of summer to show you around St. Petersburg and tell you about our philosophy, everything we think about hair, and lots more besides. In this video, we want to acquaint you with our vision of hairdressing and how the culture around it is growing in our city. Thing is, we have 2 pretty large hair salons and about 50 employees. Dozens of people visit us every day. And that means that we have a pretty big influence on the city's fashion, as do the people who visit us. So we'd like to tell you about our view on technique, design, art, and attitude in our profession. That's why we'll show you around and tell you about what we do and show you some great views of St. Petersburg. Ready? Let's get started. We were born in a country under a dictatorship. 70 years of communist occupation led to social taboos and strict laws forbidding people to look flamboyant or express their individuality. And things haven't really changed. Today you can still get beaten up or even killed in a fight for having long or dyed hair. Kids get kicked out of school for colorful strands of hair or unusual haircuts. Our mission is to help people look extravagant and to make the unusual the norm. We want an end to discrimination based on appearance. We live in a rather harsh climate. Summer lasts just a few days. Last December, there were a total of 95 minutes of sunlight in the city. And if you have to work during those days, you end up going without summer for a year. It's cold, gray, and rainy. Color photographs of the city often look black and white. The weather underlines the drabness of the post-Soviet landscape. We've always wanted to make people look more colorful and make their dispositions more cheerful. After all, many people are a lot more vibrant on the inside than they let show. It's our task to bring out that interior state and make it be in harmony with their appearance. Our hair is one of the ways we communicate with the world. It's nonverbal, but it tells the world who we are. Sometimes we defend ourselves, sometimes we look for others like us, and sometimes we make threats. Our hairstyle and our appearance also let us change who we are on the inside. People sometimes blossom when they give themselves another color. It can elicit a mild euphoria, as though they did something brave in their lives, kind of like plastic surgery without a knife. You change people, it inspires them, and then they inspire others, and so on, until it changes our city for the better. Those are our guerrilla tactics. Art is a lifestyle. It's like your shadow. You don't even work with the end result in mind. What matters is always being engaged in the creative process. Remember Mr. Brainwash from Exit Through the Gift Shop, who filmed everything all the time? There were thousands of rolls of film in his home, but he didn't edit any of it. What mattered to him was documenting the process, preserving it somehow. The same goes for us. We don't strive to achieve something with our art, to win an award or be featured in a magazine, but the process, the photo and video shoots, coming up with new ideas and designs, that's what inspires us. It's what draws different people to us, who then become co-creators. Artists, designers, public figures, they all get involved in the process, and you become more than a hairdresser. Hair is ceasing to be the only material we work with. It can easily be replaced by anything whatsoever. Take some plasticine, sheets of paper, vegetables, meat, fish, denim, styrofoam, Legos, clay, plaster, or even beef brains. Anything goes when you mix excitement, curiosity, and ingenuity. We see the head as an informative surface. This gives us the ability to communicate ideas, symbols, and even text. It's a lot like graffiti or billboards. Just as graffiti can be washed off, covered up, or even replaced with a new illustration, hair grows back, and that allows us to create new messages. For this, you'll just need a model with short hair or, say, the back of their head shaved, and an idea or news hook. In order to create a message or graffiti on a client's head, you'll need the following. First, if the client has short, natural hair, you can use electric hair clippers and scissors to shave words or images directly onto their head. The second option is if your client has long hair or a bob cut. Here you can use a stencil, hair color spray, and paper. The third option is if they have short hair. You can bleach some of it and wait 1 week. It will grow out slightly, revealing the dark roots against the light length. This creates a 3D effect, which can also be colored with color sprays, direct pigments, or dyes. With anything, really. And if you're really lucky and your model has no hair at all, then you have a completely different set of tools at your disposal. You can draw on them with a marker, stick rhinestones or glitter on, whatever you want. You can paint and draw to your heart's content and send a message to your clients and to the whole world. St. Petersburg is the cultural capital of Russia. There are a lot of creative people here, and sometimes it's actually shocking to see how creative they can be. And those people want haircuts too. Under the right circumstances, they might even become regular clients and request absolutely incredible things each time. At that moment, your client becomes your co-creator, and together you begin to come up with a new idea and flesh it out. For example, your client might show up with an idea, and as an artist, you then figure out the nuances of how to make it work and bring it to life. We often create replicas of famous paintings on people's heads. Malevich, Kandinsky, Rodchenko, Pollock, Rothko, Van Gogh. The list goes on. There are too many to remember. Clients show up with a picture of a painting and say, "I want that." Sometimes we even recreate the same painting on completely different people. The goal here is not to do it 100% like the original. We need to harness its mood, shape, color scheme, and transfer that to the person's head, adapting it to suit their face, way of life, and style. This is usually done in 3 stages. First, we use scissors and electric hair clippers to sketch out the basic lines that will create the overall shape. Then we bleach and dye all the hair or specific fragments. In other words, we paint the picture. After that, we use scissors or electric hair clippers to tidy everything up and apply the finishing touches. But that's usually not enough to make everything look rich and natural. We also use makeup, markers, or some other instrument so that we can make thinner lines, create a greater contrast between light and dark, and make the colors brighter. And so we get to the final result through a 3-step process. First we cut, then we dye, and then finish drawing with coloring tools. One of our most popular and favorite techniques is ribbed hair. No, it's not a pattern. It's a technique that allows you to create a ribbed surface on short hair. This technique also looks great on bleached hair. Because hair grows out and after about a week the roots start to show, the result is an effect that looks like fur. And you can also color the hair with whatever's in your arsenal to create a soft, velvety surface. There are 2 tools you can use to create ribbed hair: scissors and electric hair clippers. What's the difference? With scissors, you get more gradual and curved lines. The work goes slow and you enter into a trance, like meditation for hairdressers. The other option is using electric hair clippers. They cut precisely and deep, all the way down to the skin. As a result, the lines are more contrasting. You can use either tool. Either way, you'll see a cool effect on the hair. The most important thing in this technique is to ensure you get parallel lines that gradually converge. In this technique, as in many others, there are 4 main designs: circle, square, triangle, and zigzag. The zigzag breaks all the existing rules. It's utter chaos. And if someone comes in wanting to provoke negative emotions or make some kind of protest, give them deliberately crooked lines and whatever else it takes to give them those emotions. Yep. We work with a very diverse clientele, and people don't always want positive, pleasant emotions. It's very important for us to find the right approach to our clients. People are all different, and what one person likes, another might hate. As professionals, we need to have an understanding of people, their tastes, and their styles. We're helped in this task by the system of archetypes that's used in branding and marketing. There are 12 of them. We use the most standard archetypes, which everyone knows. Sage, explorer, rebel, magician, hero, jester, lover, everyman, caregiver, ruler, creator, and innocent. Those 12 archetypes. We need to know them by heart and understand them. A good way to use the system is by making mood boards. They're our tool for nonverbal communication. They let us have a conversation without words, using images only. We give that mood board to our clients and ask them to choose one of 12 sets of images, each with a style or visual code suggested by one of the archetypes. When they look at it, they don't see hairstyles. They see an atmosphere, household objects, places, an overall style. And if they realize that that's where they'd like to be, or it matches their way of life, then they say, yeah, I choose this. They can choose up to 3 of those sets without explaining why. And that tells us what combination of archetypes and stylistic vectors is present in that person. Armed with that knowledge, we can understand them better and pick out the look that they're after. It tells us what shapes, colors, and combinations of colors and visual styles suit that individual. It's a very powerful tool that allows us to communicate not only with clients, but with the other members of our team when we work on a joint project. It's a tool that sets up an emotional bond between you and the other person. In other words, it creates empathy. It's what we call emotional hairdressing. That's when you communicate not on the level of what hairstyle would you like, but rather, how do you want people to perceive you? What emotions would you like them to feel when they see you? It's on a much deeper level, and it's a lot more interesting to work that way. It's what we teach here at HairFcker School. The innocent. The innocent is a dreamer who is often called naive, romantic, an idealist, utopian, and so on. Their goal in life is to live in an imaginary world, feel freedom, and experience paradise or strange otherworldly sensations. And they express these things through their appearance. Their hair has an airy texture, cottony, curly, pastel colors, and it can be unusually bright and colorful. Their haircuts are also often unusual, but with a soft texture. This is one of the most creative archetypes. People often call them crazy. The sage. This is a person who has found worldly wisdom. They're often called a thinker. They're a person who uses their intellect and analysis to understand the world. Their biggest fear is being deceived into ignorance or not knowing something. They're absolutely calm. They don't fret, and they're not in a hurry to get anywhere because the whole world is within them. This is a person who doesn't use any loud colors or images in their appearance. They have very calm, even hair, which they dye in harmony with nature, often in earthy tones. The everyman. The everyman is like a mix of all the other archetypes. Everyone likes them. They're the life of the party. They don't want to be pretentious, and they don't want to stand out or be rejected. They want to be part of society and get along with everyone. And the same goes for their fashion choices. The everyman is a person who goes with whatever's popular now. Fashion changes, and so do the hairstyles of the everyman. They're not conservative. They just adapt to blend with their friends, and they're good at it. The lover. The lover or seducer is an archetype always trying to find relationships, intimacy, and sensual pleasures. They aim to surround themselves with things and people they find sexually appealing. As a result, lovers are completely open about their erogenous zones, and one of those zones is their head. As a result, they have a lot of volume, tresses, doing everything they can to attract attention. They have light-colored hair with a good smooth texture, which allows them to be sexy and attractive to others. The jester. The jester is a party animal. They're always in a good mood. Their goal is to enjoy life to its fullest and have a great time. They're very colorful, both in their clothes and in their hair, which has a lot of volume. They're always joking and they never sleep. They have a ton of energy, and they're a person who's impossible not to notice, with a hairstyle you'll see a mile away. The creator is the archetype responsible for creativity and imagination. They have a very refined taste, and they're extremely stylish. Their goal is to create something of lasting value. Their hair usually has low volume, deep colors, and good monolithic shapes. The rebel. The rebel is the archetype that rejects everything and goes against the system. They destroy and they avenge. Their goal is revolution, to provoke others and piss them off. In their look, they prefer jagged, rumpled clothes and textures. Something that will get on other people's nerves and force them to think negatively of them. Something that will stand out like a sore thumb. That's why their hair sticks out at different lengths, in messy, ridiculous colors. Very rebellious. But most importantly, rebels also get haircuts and dye their hair. The hero. The hero's goal is to prove their worth and make the world a better place. They want to achieve big things and make everything wonderful for everyone, to save them. Their greatest fear is weakness, vulnerability, and cowardice. The hero is a person who's not afraid of anything. They're strong, but also rather arrogant and restless. Rigid, straight, and triangular lines, hair sticking out, and rigid geometry, clearly defined colors and bright shades, black, blue, red, yellow, which they match with white to contrast. Their hairstyle, which is readily identifiable, is also severe. The ruler's goal is to create a thriving, prosperous society. They love order and strict styles. Their talents are responsibility and leadership. They're the boss, the manager. So in their clothes and hair, they prefer conservative, smooth, square shapes with evenly distributed volume, so that others will see that they're a person of standard views and respect them for it. The caregiver. The caregiver's goal is to protect and help others. Their strategy is altruism, and they always take care of whomever's with them, which has an effect on their appearance and hairstyle. Their clothes are soft and flowing in warm, creamy tones, and their hairstyles are soft, without a rigid structure, absolutely calm and comforting. The explorer. The explorer is a person who is studying the world. They like to take risks, not being afraid of danger, and their core value is independence. They desire freedom, and they search for themselves by experiencing the world. They always find an adventure to go on, even if they don't leave the city. In terms of their look, they always give the impression that they're ready to go somewhere. They wear clothes that they're not afraid to get dirty or tear. Their hair also looks like they just got out of the sea, or spent the last few years traveling through faraway lands. They have dreadlocks, tangled hair, and a very active texture that looks sunburnt or similarly damaged. They look pretty shaggy. All these things apply to explorers. The mage. The mage is a person creating the culture of the future. Their motto is nothing is impossible. If you can imagine it, you can achieve it. They're always surrounded by the hippest gadgets, which is why their hairstyle should be the most innovative around, with an unusual geometry and features like artificial materials, shiny metallic colors, and something extremely white and pure, dark and pure, bright and glowing. That's the mage for you.